All right, let's get real. Right now, as you're sitting here, watching this, there's something about you that you've probably never realized. You've been living your whole life thinking you're just a human being, going through the motions, dealing with everyday stuff, work, relationships, problems, and yeah, maybe even some moments of joy here and there. But what if I told you that all of that is just the surface? The truth is, you're not just a human being. You're something far more powerful, something eternal. You're a god having a human experience. Now, hold up. I know that sounds wild, but stick with me. I'm not talking about some mythological figure sitting on a throne, throwing lightning bolts or controlling the weather. I'm talking about the essence of what you really are. You're not separate from the universe, you are the universe. And right now you're experiencing yourself through this body, this life, and whatever circumstances you find yourself in. But this body, it's just a temporary suit. It's not you. It's like playing a video game. Your character isn't the real you. It's just a way for you to experience the game.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound spiritual lesson.
Think about it. You say things like my body, my thoughts, and my emotions. That's because deep down, you've always known you're something beyond those things. You don't say I am hand, you say my hand. You don't say I am body, you say my body. But who is the my in those statements? Who's the one observing all of this? It's you, the real you. The part of you that's eternal, that's been around long before this body was born, and will continue long after it's gone. This isn't a theory. This is something that's been known for thousands of years by the greatest minds and mystics across time. And now science is even starting to back this up with things like quantum physics, but we'll get to that later. Let's keep it simple for now. You, the real you, are not bound by this body or this life. You're a fragment of universal consciousness and infinite, boundless energy that's currently having the experience of being human. This physical world, it's just one level of reality. There are layers upon layers to existence, and your consciousness moves through all of them. But here's the thing, most of us forget this. We get so caught up in this human life, in the drama, the stress, the noise, that we lose sight of who we really are. It's like being in a dream and forgetting you're dreaming. You take everything so seriously, like it's all there is. But when you wake up, you see it for what it really is. You've been conditioned your whole life to believe that you're just this body and mind. People have told you this is who you are and you accepted it. But is that really the whole story? Think about it. When you close your eyes, when you stop for a moment, isn't there something inside you that feels constant? That's there no matter what happens, no matter what you're going through. That's the real you. That's the part of you that's infinite, the part of you that's connected to everything. Let's break that down even further. Your body is constantly changing, right? You're not the same person you were 5 years ago, physically or mentally. Your cells have changed. Your thoughts have changed. But something in you remains the same. What is that? It's your awareness, your consciousness. That's the part of you that's eternal. That's the part of you that's not bound by time or space. And here's where things get really interesting. Science is starting to catch up to this ancient wisdom. You've probably heard of the double slit experiment, right? It showed us that reality isn't as solid and fixed as we've always thought. It showed that particles behave differently when observed. In other words, consciousness, your awareness, plays a role in shaping the world around you. This lines up perfectly with what mystics have been saying for millennia, that consciousness is the foundation of reality. And you, as a being of consciousness, are shaping your reality every moment, whether you realize it or not. So what does that mean for you right now? It means you have more power than you think. You're not just a victim of your circumstances. You're not just a body reacting to the world. You're a creator. Your thoughts, your beliefs, your intentions, they're shaping the world around you in ways you can't even imagine. But here's the catch: most of us are doing it unconsciously. We're letting old patterns, fears, and conditioning run the show. We're creating from a place of limitation instead of from our true, infinite nature. So the question is, how do you start living from that deeper place? How do you start experiencing yourself as the divine being you truly are, instead of just this limited human identity? First, you've got to start questioning everything you think you know about yourself. You've got to start observing your thoughts, your emotions, your reactions, and realize that they're not you. They're like clouds passing through the sky, but you're the sky itself. You're the constant, unchanging awareness that's watching all of it. And once you start to see that, you'll begin to notice something incredible. You'll start to feel a sense of freedom, a sense of expansiveness that you've never felt before. Because once you realize you're not bound by this body or this mind, you stop being so attached to the ups and downs of life. You start to see them for what they really are: temporary, fleeting experiences that are here to help you grow. So what's next? How do you go deeper into this experience of yourself as a divine being? How do you start living from that place of power, instead of feeling limited by your human identity? That's what we're going to explore next. All right, you're still here, and that's a good sign. It means something inside you is resonating with this deeper truth. And now we're going to take things even further. If you're ready to break free from the illusion that's been holding you back, then let's dive in. Here's the reality: most of us have been walking through life as if we're these small, limited beings. We've been taught to believe we're just here to survive, to get by, to make the best of what we're given. But that's not the truth. The truth is, you're infinite, you're limitless. And right now you're playing a game where you've chosen to forget that, just so you can experience what it's like to overcome those limitations. Think about this for a second. Everything you've been through, everything you've struggled with or felt trapped by, is actually there to help you remember who you really are. Every challenge is like a clue, a reminder that you're bigger than the problem. The problem only exists because you've forgotten that you're the one creating it. Sounds wild, right? But stick with me. The first step to breaking free from the illusion of limitation is realizing that you're the one who's been holding yourself in that box. Not consciously, of course. No one chooses to suffer on purpose. But on some deeper level, you've allowed yourself to identify with the limitations of this human experience. You've believed the stories you've been told about who you are, what you can do, and what's possible for you. And those stories, they're not true. Let's talk about beliefs for a second. Every single belief you hold is shaping your reality. If you believe you're not good enough, or that life is hard, or that you're stuck in your current situation, guess what? That's exactly what you'll experience. But here's where it gets interesting: those beliefs aren't facts. They're just thoughts you've repeated so many times that they've become your reality. And if you created that reality with your thoughts, you can create a new one just as easily. So what are you believing right now about yourself and your life? Are those beliefs empowering you, or are they keeping you small? And more importantly, are they even yours? So many of the beliefs we carry around aren't even our own. They were given to us by society, by our families, by the world around us. But you're not obligated to hold on to them. You can let them go. Here's where the magic happens. Once you start to see your beliefs for what they are, just thoughts, not truths, you can begin to shift them. And when you shift your beliefs, your reality will start to change. But this isn't about forcing yourself to think positive or pretending everything is great when it's not. It's about recognizing your power as a creator. It's about realizing that the entire universe is responding to you, to your energy, to your thoughts, to your beliefs. Now, some of you might be thinking, okay, but I've tried to change my thoughts before and nothing happened. I get it. But here's the thing, it's not enough to just think new thoughts on the surface. You've got to feel them. You've got to embody them. You've got to believe them at a deeper level than the old stories you've been telling yourself. That's where the real shift happens. Let's take this deeper. Think about something in your life that you've been struggling with. Maybe it's your job, your relationships, your health, whatever. Now, ask yourself, what do you believe about this situation? What story are you telling yourself? Are you saying things like, this is just the way it is, or I can't change this, or I'm stuck? If so, that's exactly what's keeping you in that situation. But what if you started telling a different story? What if you began to see yourself not as a victim of your circumstances, but as the creator of them? Look, I'm not saying this is easy. We're talking about undoing years, maybe even decades of conditioning here. But it's possible. And once you start to shift your perspective, even just a little bit, things will start to change around you. You'll begin to notice opportunities where before there were only obstacles. You'll start to feel more empowered, more in control of your life. And this is where the power of awareness comes in. The more aware you are of your thoughts, your beliefs, and how they're shaping your reality, the more you can start to steer the ship in the direction you want to go. But most of us are living on autopilot, reacting to life instead of creating it. We let our thoughts run wild, and then we wonder why things aren't changing. But here's the truth, you have to be the one to change first. Your external world is just a reflection of your internal state. Change the inside, and the outside will follow. Now, I'm going to ask you to do something that might feel a little uncomfortable at first. I want you to start paying attention to how you talk to yourself. Not just the big, obvious thoughts, but the little ones that run in the background all day long. Things like, I'm not good enough, or this will never work out, or I'm always failing. Those little thoughts are like the soundtrack to your life, and they're creating your experience moment by moment. So here's what I want you to do the next time you catch one of those limiting thoughts. Don't just let it slide. Question it. Ask if it's really true. And if it's not because it's not, replace it with something that reflects your true, infinite nature. Maybe it's I am powerful, or I create my reality, or I'm capable of anything, whatever resonates with you. And then start acting from that place. This isn't about pretending things are perfect. It's about recognizing that you have the power to shift your experience, no matter what's happening around you. You're not here to just survive life. You're here to create it. You're here to remember who you really are, a limitless being, a God in human form, experiencing yourself through this physical reality. And once you start living from that place, you'll notice something incredible. The challenges that once seemed overwhelming will start to feel like opportunities. The problems that used to hold you back will become stepping stones for your growth. Because the truth is, every obstacle you face is just a chance for you to remember your power. The universe isn't testing you, it's showing you what you're capable of. So, where do you go from here? How do you start living as the creator of your reality, instead of feeling like a victim of it? That's what we're going to explore in the final part. All right, let's bring everything together. By now, you've started to see that you're not just a human being reacting to the world around you, you're a creator. You're shaping your reality with every thought, every belief, every action. And the next step is learning how to live from that place, how to fully embody the truth that you're a God having a human experience. Let's cut straight to it. You've been living as if life is happening to you. But the truth is, life is happening through you. Everything you experience, from the mundane to the extraordinary, is a reflection of your internal state. You've been taught that the external world is real and solid, and that you're just a small part of it. But the reality is, the external world is like clay in your hands, constantly being molded by your thoughts, beliefs, and the energy you bring to it. Here's the difference between someone who's awake to their true nature and someone who's still asleep. The person who's awake understands that they're in control. They know that what they focus on, what they believe, and what they expect influences their reality. The one who's asleep believes they're at the mercy of circumstances, that life is something to be endured, navigated, or survived. But you're waking up. You're realizing that you're the one steering the ship. So how do you live from this place, practically speaking? It starts with awareness, staying conscious of the energy you bring into every situation. Most people operate on autopilot, going through life without realizing how their thoughts and feelings are shaping their experience. But when you start to live from the awareness that you're a creator, everything changes. You begin to notice patterns. You notice how the things you focus on seem to expand, how your beliefs attract certain experiences, and how your expectations shape the world around you. Let's get specific. Imagine you have a challenge at work, or in a relationship, or with your health. Most people would approach that challenge from a place of fear or frustration. They'd feel like a victim of the situation, stuck in the belief that they're powerless to change it. But what if, instead, you approach that same challenge from the perspective of a creator? What if you saw it as an opportunity to express your power, to shape the outcome according to your will? Here's what happens when you shift into that mindset. You stop reacting and you start creating. Instead of feeling overwhelmed by the problem, you step back and ask, how can I use this to grow? What's this situation teaching me about my own power? And once you do that, you begin to see solutions where before there were only obstacles. You begin to attract the right people, the right circumstances, the right opportunities to move through the challenge. Because here's the secret: the universe responds to your energy. When you approach life from a place of power, life mirrors that power back to you. Now let's talk about something that might be holding you back: the ego. The ego is that part of you that's attached to your human identity, to your story, to everything you think you are. It's the part of you that wants to be right, that wants to protect itself, that's afraid of change. And the ego, it loves to keep you small. It loves to convince you that you're limited, that you're just a human with a finite set of possibilities. But the truth is, you're so much more than that. And the moment you stop letting the ego run the show, you open yourself up to infinite possibilities. So how do you deal with the ego? You don't fight it, because fighting it only gives it more power. Instead, you observe it. You watch it like you would watch a character in a movie. You notice when it tries to pull you into fear or doubt or limitation, and instead of getting sucked in, you just observe. You remind yourself that the ego isn't the real you, it's just a part of the experience you're having. The real you. The real you is the awareness behind it all. The real you is the consciousness that's watching everything unfold. And once you start to live from that awareness, something incredible happens. You stop taking life so seriously. You stop getting caught up in the drama, the fear, the stress, because you know it's all just part of the experience. You know that you're the one creating it, and that at any moment you can choose a different story. Now, let's talk about something even deeper. You're not just here to create your own reality, you're here to contribute to the evolution of consciousness itself. Every time you step into your power, every time you remember who you really are, you're raising the vibration of the entire planet. You're helping others wake up to their own power, just by being who you truly are. This isn't just about you, it's about all of us. We're all connected, and as you awaken, you help others do the same. So don't underestimate the impact you're having. Every time you choose love over fear, every time you choose empowerment over limitation, you're sending ripples out into the universe. You're creating a new reality, not just for yourself, but for everyone around you. And this is the real secret of being a God having a human experience. It's not about escaping this life or transcending it. It's about fully embracing it, knowing that you have the power to shape it in any way you choose. It's about realizing that this human experience is the ultimate playground for your consciousness, a place where you get to create, to grow, to evolve, and to remember who you truly are. So where do you go from here? The answer is simple: keep creating, keep expanding, keep remembering your power, and keep using it to shape your reality in ways that serve your highest good. You're not here to play small. You're here to create worlds, to explore the limitless potential of your own consciousness. And the best part, you're just getting started. That's it. You're a God having a human experience, and now it's time to start living like it.